Okay, Christy, we are going to take a look at your run form here, and I've got you on the left here, and I'm going to have Coach Tony on the right for comparison. Coach Tony has a very nice run form, so it's good to compare to. Let's take a look at a couple of things here right off the bat. Um, One thing I like a lot is this arm position. Um, You're at less than a 90 degrees, which is exactly what we want. We look over here at Tony, same type of thing, less than 90 degrees. Um, and the reason we want that arm bent like that and up at 90 degrees or better is that your arm is effectively, because it's swinging back and forth, it's a pendulum. And we know from physics that a pendulum, the longer a pendulum is, the slower it swings. So if our arms are down here lower, they're going to swing slower. Our arms swing in conjunction with our legs. So the slower the arm swings, the slower the legs move. The slower the legs move, the slower you run. So good job there. Keep the arms up. Nice upright head position. Eyes looking forward. Very nice. Nice relaxed shoulders. Okay, now let's take a look at your foot strike and see what that looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have both yours and Tony's left foot hit the ground at the same time here. And there we are. Both of you just hit the ground. We'll take a look at Tony's foot, and from a horizontal position, he is pretty much horizontal. Your foot, about, 25, 26 degrees or so, um, which means Tony is landing with all of his body weight coming down on his entire foot, whereas you are landing with all the body weight coming down right here on that heel. Um, that heel strike is going to, every time it happens, it's essentially like putting on the brakes. So it's going to slow you down every time that heel strikes, just ever so slightly, but it still slows you down. Another thing that happens is, we look here at Tony. He's got a nice bent knee. Um, your leg is fairly straight at this point, and what that means is that all this force from this heel is going right here into the knee. Um, Actually, some of it gets distributed into your ankle and your Achilles too, but over the long term, that can mean issues with that knee or Achilles or ankle. So we want to keep a nice bent knee like this at impact, such that all that weight, body weight, is distributed more. The leg acts more like a shock absorber and distributes that impact rather than directing it straight into your knee, your Achilles, your ankle. So the heel strike slows you down, and over the long term, it can cause injury. If we take a look also, um, come here from the heel up through the center of his upper body, about a 5-degree angle. Come here from your heel up through the center of your body, almost a 10-degree angle. So what this means is, from the vertical, Tony's got much more of his weight up close to the landing point, whereas your weight is back behind this landing point. Um, this means that you're using, or gravity is working against you. You're going to have to fight the effects of gravity to essentially make it to the other side of this line, whereas Tony has to fight much less to get to the other side of that line. Once your body weight is on the other side of that line, gravity is going to help you and pull you forward. So, to correct this, and this is basically the primary problem here, in what we want to do is get that foot down rather than back here where we end up with this 10, 11, 12 degree. If we move back just a couple of inches, We look here through that same point, and now we're at like a 6-degree angle. Much, much better. We look at this, your body is right up here close to that line, so we want to move that foot back. The way you do that is by increasing your cadence. If we look back at long-distance runners, the Kenyans have dominated the sport in the past years for marathon distance and long-distance running. And one thing you can note about the Kenyans is that pretty much every one of them have a cadence of about 105, give or take a few foot strokes per minute, about 105 repetitions per minute. And that's counted as the same foot hitting the ground the number of times per minute. Most other elite runners, long-distance runners, have a cadence of about 95 to 100. So up there close, not quite as good as the Kenyans. And then most of us have a cadence somewhere in the neighborhood of 80. We want to increase that cadence definitely above 90, and the higher we can get it up to a certain point, the better. So the way to eliminate this foot strike is by increasing cadence. And the way Dave Scott likes to think of it is once this foot comes up, you get it back to the ground as quickly as possible. That will increase your cadence and have it come back to the ground down below your body weight as opposed to out in front of your body weight. Lots of good things going on in your run. We just need to increase that cadence, get that foot strike down below you, and that's going to make you a faster runner and prevent injury in the long run. Good job, Kristy. Keep working.